for tuning in to Hacks and Hobbies with your host, Junaid. In Season 2 of Hacks and Hobbies, we're visited by our amazing guests coming from all walks of life. We want to learn their story, their struggles, and their journey on how they got to where they are today. So stick around. In this episode, we get to speak with Omozua Isiramen. I think I got that right.
Yes.
Awesome. She is a NeuroCoach. Wow, I've never heard that word before. I love it though. She helps good leaders achieve greatness. And she's an intelligent leadership executive coach. She wants you to be the CEO of your brain. I had the pleasure of speaking with Omozua a few months ago, and I was really, really inspired. There was a lot of good stuff we talked about and figuring out where I wanted to go, and it was just amazing. And since I've been interviewing, I was like, hey, I had a really awesome time talking with Omozua. Let me bring her onto the podcast. Since I've been doing so many interviews, we've got so many under the belt, and I'm just loving all the people that I'm connecting with. And I was like, she, played a really awesome part in helping me grow to where I am today. So Omozua, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very, very much, Junaid. I'm really, really happy for, you having the time to talk to me here. Thank you.
You're welcome. Absolutely. I mean, the one thing that we have in common as human beings is that we can have some really great conversations.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about yourself, how you became the NeuroCoach and how you got here.
I've been blessed in my life to have had a career, started out as a teacher. Mm-hmm. Which meant that a teacher in a school for adults. Mm-hmm. So we were teaching people in different careers, different backgrounds. And what I realized was that in the lessons that I had with these clients, and when I started training and recruiting teachers and training them, was I had this human field where I saw what it was to pursue a career, to try to improve yourself. But then the beginning of all of that was you were human, and everything that you did started with that knowledge, that knowing that you're human, and everything that you know about yourself or you don't know about yourself, that's literally how you go through whatever it is you want to achieve. So I had a lot of time to observe. I was not a coach back then. And I remember once I was teaching someone who then turned out to be the former president of the ICF Luxembourg branch. Mm-hmm. And he said, you should become a coach. Have you thought about that? And I remember giggling like, oh my God, really? I'm not athletic or anything. He said, no, not that kind of coach. Mm-hmm. So that's literally how my journey into this whole field of how can you help people, as I then ventured out into learning what it meant, getting qualified, because I'm the kind of person, I've always said, if you work with people, you should be blessed by the teachings and the lessons that you gain when you do that, when you have that opportunity. So make sure you know what you're doing. It's not a game, it's a life. So for me, it was very important to be trained, to really have tools, to have techniques. And anyways, as a teacher who trained over 500 teachers back then when I was doing that job, it was very necessary to have tools to know how to enhance your own skills, right? Yeah. So I became certified as New Insights life coach. And that's literally how my journey started. It was very interesting during the training because I realized, like, wow, I do that. That's what I do when that happens. Oh, that's really interesting to know that those things that came very natural to me had names. They were techniques, and I was like, wow, fantastic. So I moved on from there. I had the honor of meeting someone who was someone that worked with Richard Bandler, the founder of neuro-linguistic programming. And he also was a guru teacher in emotional mastery. So he had said, well, I've seen your work, heard what you do. Would you want me to train you? And that's how I joined his group. And, I didn't know what to expect, but I really then got a better understanding of what I always felt I knew about humans. Like I always felt everything you achieve, everything you feel, everything you decide, it always starts with what you feel.
Yeah.
And so that it just complemented everything. Like, wow, understanding emotional and personal mastery and how it affects the way you lead, how it affects the way you speak, you communicate, you relate to people, how you interpret things, how you feel, how you get yourself out of poor and unresourceful moods, how you are able to influence people. All of that starts with you knowing who you are, what are your triggers, and knowing how you navigate those feelings, navigate those emotions, so that you remain resourceful, so that you catch yourself as life happens.
Yeah.
And then I did that and continued coaching, continued working on my job. But then, the more I coached, the more I knew that I just need to know more. Emotions, they intrigued me. And that's how I came across my neuroscience teacher, Shantae Taylor, and it was just amazing. Neuroscience for coaches. It's about your mental energy, attaining productivity, attaining peak performance, knowing yourself. So everything became rounded. I felt it was like a perfect tiramisu, layered properly. Everything in the right amount, not having one layer that has too much cream or too much dough, just everything properly layered. And I felt I was very rounded in what I knew. I could use the stories of so many amazing souls that I had come across to understand more why we react the way we do when life happens. And I always say life happens just because for me, it's not about good or bad. Life is not good or bad. Life happens. It really just does. I don't believe that life picks you out and say, I'm going to show you pepper, like my grandmother used to say. If you were in trouble, she would say, I will show you pepper. Then you won't, you knew you were in trouble.
Yeah.
And I don't think life does that. I think life happens. And our calling is to stand when we fall. And it's not about doing it perfectly. It's just stand, because as humans, we stand.
That's right. That is so deep and so, wow. That was amazing. It's because we're given 2 feet to stand on, and and the reason we have eyes on the front of our heads, rather than the sides of our head, like most animals do, right?
Absolutely. I was talking to Stephen DeSade recently, and it was it was the first time, but I was flabbergasted. And till now, I really feel that he said something which absolutely opened a new way of looking at things. Again, why I feel knowing yourself. And I'm not talking of all those external labels. I'm talking of knowing yourself from within and focusing on those aspects of your life that enable you to thrive, not feel bad about yourself, not to beat yourself up. He said, people travel the world and one day they find themselves in front of the mirror of life, on the platform of life. They look in the mirror and then they ask someone outside them to tell them who they see. And I was like, wow, so true. That was so deep to me, that you look and you cannot even tell yourself who you are.
No.
In that for reflection, and you need someone outside to tell you who you are, and that is so sad to walk through life like that. I really feel that is so unresourceful.
Yeah.
Because it affects everything. It affects your relationships. It affects what you can contribute to any mission. It affects what you can do in a community when you don't live from within, when you don't drive your actions from a solid understanding of who you truly are on your own terms. Not with stress, not because you're trying to show somebody, I need you to applaud me. You applaud yourself, because that's the greatest gift you can give yourself.
That's right. And we're the only person who can clap for our own selves.
Absolutely.
With our own two hands.
Wow. Exactly, because that's what they're there for.
That's what they're
that's what they're there for. So that has been my journey, and coming into making this now my business, it was just very, very natural for me to then understand what it meant to lead. And so when I had the opportunity to participate in the training of John Mattone, who is the founder of the Intelligent Leadership Executive Coaching Program, I just said yes. He coached Steve Jobs for about a year and a half or so before he passed, prior before he passed away. But that was just so intriguing to me to know, okay, Omo, you want to work on leadership. Everybody is a leader. And leader is not just the title, not just not the label. Oh, you're a leader of this, you're a leader. No, I'm talking of, do you lead from within? Do you lead with what you know about yourself? Do you lead with your ability to stand up when life happens? Do you lead with knowledge and empathy that embraces the fact that, yes, we interact, we relate, and we communicate with people?
That is so amazing.
It was so, and that there was a time in my life when I had the feeling my heart was bleeding.
Oh,
my heart.
Know the feeling.
My heart was bleeding. It didn't matter what I did.
Yeah.
I just could not relieve myself of that pain. I remember there was a time I'd go to church and they have that moment when they ask people to come to the front if they wanted to be prayed for. And I don't know what, normally I would never get up, because that was also the first time I went to that particular church. And I did get up. My legs took me to the front, and the lady, one of the elders of the church, she said, what should I pray for? And I remember saying, please pray for my bleeding heart.
Wow.
It has taken me a long time to understand that what I felt then, I felt it, but I didn't understand what it was I was feeling. And then on top of that, I didn't understand back then that what I was feeling was a call for me to act.
That's right.
Yeah? It's not
You're getting a call from a spiritual call that you cannot see.
Yeah.
It's a thought put in your mind. Like, exactly. You've got to do something that's bigger than yourself.
Exactly. And I have to do something more than just sulking and whining and not exploring. There's this, people say the map is not the territory.
Yeah, it's not.
So if you keep on just whining and circling in your map, and you never, that means you're not being creative. That means you're not being innovative. You're not looking for solutions. You're just, I feel it's like a goulash that is overcooking, like an Irish stew that is boiling and boiling and boiling and boiling. and it's, I think if it's not going to get any better than what it's become.
Right.
So you need to explore. And I think that's what emotional mastery is all about. Explore and do something beyond the obvious. You feel something, that's the obvious. Explore. Yeah. Know that you can touch it. Feelings, they leave as swiftly as they come by.
Yeah.
But if your actions are now directed by what you feel, that means then you're holding on to it and it is directing your actions. So is it resourceful? Then go ahead. If it's unresourceful, explore. What other thing can it be telling you?
Yeah.
Let's take an example. If somebody feels extremely jealous, which is so easy these days, and I use the word feel. Mm-hmm. There's a difference between I am jealous and I feel jealous. Like I said, feelings, they leave as swiftly as they come if you let them go. If you feel jealous because, I don't know, somebody has more views, somebody has more houses, somebody has more fans, I don't know what, the various things that people can be jealous about. Yes, okay. What message could that emotion possibly be asking of you beyond the fact that you're feeling bad and hating the other person, which is another emotion, another unresourceful emotion, right? Which is not making you feel any better.
Mm-hmm. It's not helping you with anything at all. Wow.
Yeah. So what else is the message?
Mm-hmm.
What else could that emotion be telling you? Maybe it's saying, you actually would like to, you find it nice. Deep down, it aligns with you to have that you saw the other person has, okay? Mm-hmm. It's aligned with you. You would like that in your life. Okay, so then what do? If you really want it, if it's really aligned with you, if you really feel it will fulfill you, then it means beyond being jealous and angry and hateful of the other person, it means you could take steps to say, how do I get that? Because I really would like that.
Yeah.
What steps can I take? So you see, you focus on yourself, and then you can tap into your own creativity and your own senses for problem solving, and you become resourceful.
Wow. Yeah.
And so that's what personal mastery and emotional mastery is all about.
Wow.
And you can imagine, if you are so good at doing that for yourself and you are a leader, how amazing is it when you lead others and you help them to discover that in themselves?
Yeah, that's really amazing.
Yeah. That's what leadership is about. It's not only about affirmations or lighting candles. No. It's really about, I would say, walk the talk.
Yes.
But understand the talk.
You got to understand it before you walk it.
Exactly. You got to understand it. Yeah. It was so interesting that somebody, a lady, had written something which I absolutely found fantastic. She said, she had said something about clarity and what people focus on.
Yeah.
It was interesting because she said many people want to achieve a lot. They want success. They're thinking of all these outcomes. And there's a lot of talk about, the outcome, that's what matters, etc., etc. Absolutely agree. But what possible outcome can you get? How do you really get there when you're skipping the middle part?
Yeah.
And the middle part to me is have you actually done anything to get the clarity you need to go about what it is you want to achieve with
That's right.
ease?
Mm-hmm.
Have you done that? Because if you've not,
Yeah,
I mean, wow.
not gonna work. It's like the example that I always come up with is, you want to go see a movie or you want to go to your room upstairs. Well, if you don't take the first step and the second step, you can't just, get to the top floor without taking the 14 steps that you have, climb up the stairs.
Absolutely. And also, even if you decide now climb up the stairs, but the question is, how easy is that mounting the stairs? How easy is it going to be when you don't have the clarity? So you can drive greatness outside with your outer skills, but what drives that is the inner skills, your inner core skills, and what you know about them, and know how do you activate them for your own good and for the good of your immediate environment, and then what is the ripple effect that you're sending out?
Wow.
So it all starts with what you know about yourself, how you are able to course correct, how you are able to also be okay when you course correct, because that has something to do with that, the idea of failure. Yeah. If failure becomes a dinosaur and not just the lizard that it is, how are you going to grow? Then you can't course correct because you're so afraid that you remain stuck.
Yes, you can remain stuck. That's
a lizard. A lizard is sometimes just a lizard. And if it becomes a dinosaur, you want to be very sure that it is a dinosaur before you start panicking. Because I think of it as thinking, people should ask themselves more, how resourceful is what I am doing right now? It's a very basic question.
It is.
But whatever it is you're doing, just simple question. How resourceful is what I am doing right now? And if you're okay with it, if you don't have a sensation in you that goes through your body that is screaming, this is not helping, get up. Stop what it is you're doing. I don't know. Are you Netflixing all day long? You hear that voice telling you, oh, come on, not one more season.
Right.
And then comes the power of choice.
Exactly. You choose to watch another season.
Yes, and it's okay if you choose to watch another season, but it's also be okay with it. Be okay with the consequence.
Yes.
That's it. That's where the struggle lies, because people are not okay with the consequence of the choice they made.
Oh, that's really interesting. I've never thought of that. I've thought of it that way, because people make choices. Well, they're okay with the consequences, but
the outcome.
Don't pay attention. They're not paying attention.
Yes.
Right? That's what's happening.
Yeah. And then you beat yourself up about the way you feel about the decision you made.
Yeah.
And then it's just a downward spiral. So if you drink another glass of who knows what, and you were not you didn't want to do it, but then you did it, even though you're going to feel sick after that. Yeah. And then when you feel sick, then you start feeling bad about the fact that you feel sick, and then you feel bad about the fact that you feel bad. Those second order feelings, those are the worst. It's not the initial situation that's bad. It's what people feel about the way they feel about something they did.
And they say, oh, I shouldn't have done that.
Yes. Then comes guilt, because you feel guilty that you did it. And then you feel bad about feeling guilty that you chose to do something. And that's how this anxiety, extreme fear, that's how that builds up. And that's why it's so important to be mindful. I know people talk about being mindful, but being mindful to me is not sitting on Saturday and drinking your favorite tea from your favorite cup.
Right.
Being mindful is learning how to tame your inner mind chihuahua, the brain. the actually the emotional brain.
The emotional brain, that's right.
The amygdala. I like to call it the inner mind chihuahua, because chihuahuas, they bark louder than all the other larger dogs they see. But that is where you become the CEO of your brain, not the brain being your CEO, running you. Because if you let all those feelings control you, you start running helter-skelter, and nothing good can come of that.
No, what you're saying, those are really amazing points. I mean, I see all of that. I mean, and seeing it from your perspective, because you've done the observation, you've done all of that. It's just wow.
I always like to say, how do you create magic?
Yeah.
Magic from within. How do you drive greatness from within? First of all, you can only make it on your own terms when it's coming from you in every sense. And it's very actionable. I know people say, yes, try identify your weakness and try to change them, try to make them better. I don't know what that means. What I know is that it's good to identify your strengths. And you know how you say, there's always a partner. There's always somebody that supports you. A wife supports the husband. The husband supports the wife. On your journey, you're going to have people who support you. I have a circle of 20. So instead of me focusing on my weakness and trying to change them, I am able to tap into the creativity and knowledge that I get from those within my circle of 20 that can help me in those areas where I'm not the strongest.
That's really cool.
My weaknesses are not my focus, because I realize that my mental energy is so important, and I don't have it en masse.
Very limited.
Yes, it's limited to, after a certain while, it's limited, and you have to retank, and you have to nurture, you have to care, you have to, people self-care. What do you do to maintain your mental energy? So that you can actually attain peak performance, so that you can be productive, so that you can extend your ability to navigate throughout the day and be as resourceful as possible and use your resources well. And so I think having those people in my circle of 20 who help me where I am not the best, and I don't have to be the best, but I just feel if I spend, it's like I have a VA. So if I would spend time doing things that she helps me do, when it comes to design, creating all those technical stuff. There are people that can go on Canva and editing and all that, and they love it. I don't. I just don't. And it becomes even more frustrating when I try, because the more I try, the longer it takes me, and the angrier I feel I get.
I know the feeling.
So I stopped. So I can focus on other things, which is doing my work as a coach, and actually coaching and helping people to really understand how to create magic on their own terms, and that greatness, success, all those good fancy words, if they can leave everybody out of that.
No, absolutely.
In how good or bad it is, if they can leave everybody out of that and just focus on those things from what they know about themselves and what they're able to activate outwardly, life would be so easy, in the sense that you will slide through like a river. Sometimes a bit rough, sometimes a bit smooth, but you keep on flowing. You flow, and it's good. And if there's a blockage, you just you're able to course correct, and that's what life is all about. I find that so amazing. I look at Nelson Mandela, and I know how, if he were a river, and one would consider the period he was locked away as a time when he was blocked. But the moment he was let go, he just kept on flowing.
You have to keep on going and expand your mind, and
yes,
because this is the only, like they say, YOLO. This is the only life you've got.
Yeah.
You're not getting out of it alive. So make the best that you can. Because when Nelson Mandela came out, he was not angry.
No.
Not, hateful. He was none of those things. He did not have a grudge.
No.
Right. He didn't. He was still the same person that we knew before he went in.
Yes, but also I guess he did feel those things. I guess he did, but he didn't let it control his actions. That's the difference. Yeah. I mean, we shouldn't see, those are bad emotions, those are good emotions, right? There are resourceful emotions and there are unresourceful emotions. That's all it is. Okay. And it's either your act is driven by one of them.
Yes.
That's all it is.
And both of those emotions are necessary.
Yes, of course they're necessary. I mean, some amount of fear is good. Some amount of anger is good because anger can also be a source of motivation.
Yes.
If there's something you've had to fix for months and you didn't do it and now water starts leaking from the roof, the fact that you're angry about it might get you to now finally get up and fix it, right?
That's right.
Yes. So it's what is the action that comes once your brain has interpreted what you feel?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you react or do you respond?
True. That's a deep question. Some questions for you. What is the one hobby that you wish you got into?
For me, it would be playing a musical instrument.
Okay.
Yeah. I tried, but no.
Any instrument, any specific one, or?
I like the violin for some reason, or the piano. And I did have a piano teacher, but she said I didn't have the fingers for it. So after 2 weeks, she told my mom to find something else.
Oh, really? Okay.
And then we tried ballet, and the teacher said no, she doesn't have the feet for that either. So yeah, I became someone along the years. I cheered people. I applauded people. I was the back, during sports, I would motivate people, run faster for the team, do that. That was more the background kind of person, strengthening from behind. That was okay for me. Yeah. So no instruments. The flute, got bored. Too much spit and all that stuff. So, no.
Wow, that's cool. All right. So what is your favorite movie or TV show?
Movie, I would say it's The Color Purple with Oprah Winfrey and what's her name? Whoopi Goldberg.
Whoopi Goldberg, okay.
Yes. And TV show, I would say Grey's Anatomy.
Grey's Anatomy, okay.
Yes, I'm a big fan of that.
Nice. I have not seen that movie, so I have to check it out.
It's a TV show. It's nice.
Awesome. So where can people find you, and what can they expect to learn from you? I mean, they've learned a lot in this episode. This is so cool. And what are your plans for the next 6 months?
So for the next 6 months, I am looking to get on a lot of podcasts, to just share my story, to share these insights with the hope that it will do more than just motivate people to want to step into their own greatness and understanding the power of why your greatness has to have to do with you and only you. So I'm also going to start my group coaching courses on emotional mastery and communication. That's something I was able to do very successfully last year. So I would like to build on that. And at the end, I want to speak more, start my speaking career where I hope that this year I could have a TEDx talk, give a TEDx talk. I want to do that. And just really keep on working on my business and touching one life at a time, and helping people understand emotions and use it resourcefully and thrive.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. I love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And where can people find you?
Yeah.
You have a...
Yes, I have a website, very, very easy. It's my name, omozua.com, Omozua. And you can also find me on LinkedIn, also, Omozua Isiramen. Send me a message, contact me. I love to have discussions with people about this, and also to see how I can be of service. I'm always blessed by everybody I've worked with and who I work with now, and I look forward to many more, and sending out this ripple effect of actionable empowerment.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. That was lovely. Good friend of mine, Rob Howes, always says, as soon as you said it, as soon as you have uttered the words out of your mouth, you've enabled that ripple effect.
Yes.
If you can think it, it's possible because you thought it.
Yeah, he says that a lot. I spoke to him a few.
I love this guy. He's amazing.
Yes.
If there was somebody you think that would benefit from this podcast and would love to come talk to me, I would absolutely appreciate.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I would definitely, I know a number of people who are looking to get on podcasts and who have amazing stories, inspiring human stories. So I really love it. I definitely wish to get on with
that's all we're about over here on Hacks and Hobbies, because we like to focus on, the human development as being, morally straight and true, and do the best we can to help the world.
Exactly.
Well, thank you so much for coming on to the podcast.
Thank you very, very much, Junaid. Absolutely honored. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for listening to Hacks and Hobbies. You can find additional information on the guest today on the website hacksandhobbies.com. Please feel free to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss out on upcoming interviews with amazing guests.